Water is considered to be a renewable resource. Despite this, access to potable water, as simple as it sounds, is incredibly limited in developing countries. Thanks to the rapid growth of human population, urbanization, and less resources go around, civilians are forced to drink whatever water they have, whether it's clean or not. Often, they end up consuming contaminated water. This poses a variety of health risks, such as the spread of waterborne diseases and intake of metals that can be detrimental to one's health.
In Cameroon, diarrheal diseases that are often found in contaminated water are a greater risk to children and the elderly. E. coli, Salmonella, Shigella, cholera, typhoid, and more intestinal bacteria are often found in springs, wells, and community standpipes. Those with lower income and living in poorer areas are more susceptible to these waterborne diseases. In a medical investigation, 14.4% of the 3,034 children tested suffered from diarrhea. Another investigation done in Yaoundé found that 80.2% of the city's dwellers did not have access to drinking water. In 2010, it was estimated that only 47% of Cameroon's inhabitants had access to safe drinking water.
A huge contributor to water contamination is pollution. Pesticide residues, fluorine, and arsenic ions end up poisoning water and rendering it unsafe for human consumption. The fix to this is water filtration. However, costs to effectively filter and distribute clean water are often high. It is a priority to find simple and cost-effective water purification strategies.
This vital resource is being depleted in many vital areas. Many scientists believe that by 2050, many of our freshwater supplies will have dried out, leaving us without water. Water conservation is something that we all, as people, must take responsibility for if we want our planet to live on.
Most water on Earth is undrinkable without extensive treatment. This emphasizes the need for us to conserve what little drinkable water this Earth has. We have destroyed our planet in many ways that our planet will take years to recover from. But as the saying goes, better late than never.
Water purification is a vital process of ensuring safe and clean water for us. Understanding water treatment involves grasping processes such as coagulation, flocculation, sedimentation, filtration, and disinfection. Coagulation is the process of using aluminum or iron salts to clump particles suspended in the water into floc. These particles include sand, clay, or organic particles such as algae. These particles have an inherent electric charge that causes them to repel each other. The use of aluminum or iron salts is to neutralize these charges. This in turn will cause these particles to clump into the floc.
The floc is then run through a special mixing tube where microsand is added with a polymer to help the microsand stick. This process is referred to as flocculation.
The water then travels upwards. During this process, the heavy floc particles quickly settle to the bottom of the tank. Gliding clumps of floc then hit angled metal plates, forcing the floc down. The bottom of the tank contains a rotor blade which removes the accumulating floc. This newly clean water is then moved upwards into clarified thorough. This process is referred to as sedimentation.
The water is then moved to another tank to remove taste and odor makers. This includes sulfur, iron, and/or other harmful bacteria and viruses. At the beginning of the tank, ozone gas bubbles are added through diffusers. The tank is divided to slow the flow of the water. This gives the ozone longer to do its job. Ozone is O3, as opposed to O2 we breathe. When O3 is added, oxygen atoms bond to the contaminants, oxidizing them. Oxidized metals have a weaker reaction with water, allowing for easier extraction. Virus and bacteria cell walls, when exposed to oxygen, alter their cell walls' function and change their surface charge. This makes it easier to filter later in the process. After O3 loses its extra oxygen molecule, only O2 is created, leaving no harmful byproducts. This process is referred to as ozonation.
The water is then moved through a dense layered bed of carbon granules and microsand. This will remove the oxidized contaminants. The carbon layer generally filters biological and chemical elements, while the sand layer filters inorganic elements. Van der Waals forces play a clear role here. The process is referred to as filtration.
The water is then passed through a tank where multiple wavelengths of UV light are shown on it. This will kill any remaining bacteria and/or virus still in the water, referred to as filtration as well.
Remember, clean water refers to water that is visually clean and clear, while safe water refers to water that has been disinfected. If you boiled muddy water, the water would be safe but not clean. The end. Thanks.